Go back to your own world.
Alright, look, you don't know me and I don't know you, but since you clicked on this video, let's change that. I'm your host CGO and I'm here to show you cool shit in a timely fashion. This video is the first of what I call nose bumps. The point of this thing is simple. I find cool stuff and show it to you. Instead of running all over the internet, you can stop by here. Not worrying about biases or fanboys or agendas of any kind. If you care about your art, it's my kind of thing, I'll share it. This series is created with one goal in mind: putting the word out on exciting and sincere projects. Now this nose bump is all about video games. Other nose bumps will include stuff outside of gaming, but that's the future's problem. I am not sponsored for this video. Every game mentioned here is here because I think it's interesting and want to spread the word. With that said, there's a lot to get to, so let's get to it. So with Gamescom just ended and everyone's gone home, sad they can't play Silksong anymore. And look, I'd be sad too. I mean, look at this.
Look at this!
On the brighter side, we got some cool trailers and reviews to check out. And with Silksong around the corner, it's best to keep busy, right? Handle what you gotta handle. Makes the time pass. For me, a daily routine does a trick, but this routine is a little different. Maybe not something you want to do every day. Well, maybe not any day. Routine is a first-person survival horror game made by a small indie team from the UK. When I say small, I mean small. Their website lists 3 people. Now this game was announced way back in 2012, and it seemed like another cool indie game that got some buzz, but never saw the light of day as things are pretty much radio silent. But Routine is back online and the game looks awesome. The art design immediately sticks out. It has this VHS/analog horror thing going on. Plus you get a really cool gun. It's called the CAT, the Cosmonaut Assistance Tool. It seems just meant to handle a problem or solve one, as it can stun a scary robot and or save notes you might need for later. All in all, this game kind of flew under people's radars at Gamescom, but it looks sick, and I'll be keeping a close eye on this one. It's slated for release in late 2025, available on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox Game Pass, and Steam. Now Routine wasn't all Gamescom had to offer. Between the reveals of the second entry in the Black Myth series, La Divina Commedia, aka The Divine Comedy, Swords and Legends, Lords of the Fallen 2, and the recent release of Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, it's clear that Souls-like games are pretty hot right now. Some are over it, some aren't. I think if it's good and brings something new, then I'm there, and this Souls-like seems to be doing just that. Okay, here's the truth. 2 of them actually. Valor Mortis is an action Souls-like developed by a team in Poland, and your eyes aren't deceiving you. It's first person. That's what sets this aside from the other Souls-likes. This kind of combat first person definitely won't be easy to pull off, but from what I've seen, it's looking pretty good. Also, I gotta mention the cool flame hand and pistol. Brings you back to the good old days of playing Bioshock. Fire in one hand and a weapon in the other. That's my bag. But look, in Valor Mortis, you're a soldier named William, and old Willie's been brought back from the dead, and that's to figure out why everything's gone to hell. You fight off Napoleon soldiers who used to be your comrades but are now your enemies. Gain supernatural abilities and enhance your attacks by channeling your newfound power of immortality. Sound good? Good. Valor Mortis is planned to be released in 2026. Listen up, if you love Fallout like I do, especially New Vegas, then this next Gamescom trailer will make you feel like you won the lottery.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
When the Fallout TV show got announced, I didn't have much hope for it. The state of Fallout wasn't looking too good. The last entry, Fallout 76, didn't do too well among critics or pretty much anyone, which is putting it lightly. So let's just say I wasn't that hyped. Well, I should have been. Season 1 knocked it out of the park with the fan service, attention to detail, cool new stories set in the Fallout universe, and now they're taking it to New Vegas. And by the looks of it, this is shaping up to clear the first season easy. From Mr. House and Lucky 38 to Novak and the Dinosaur, Victor, Operation Anchorage, and Deathclaws. I'm sold. They obviously know what Fallout fans want and are giving us more. Fallout Season 2 premieres December 17th on Prime Video. Be there. Ever since the show took off, interest in Fallout has been crazy. Fallout 76 saw increased player counts, Fallout 5 is green lit, Fallout 3's reports have a remaster on the way, and some claim a Fallout New Vegas remaster or even a part 2 is coming down the line. Look, I don't know for sure. I haven't seen or heard anything, but I did see this. This is Fallout Bakersfield, a fan project created from a total conversion of the old Doom engine into Fallout 1. but as you can see, it's from the first person perspective. Now this is extended gameplay released around a week before this video is posted. Off rip, the art style here mimics the old games almost perfectly. The UI has that old school Fallout feel. The classic gory combat Fallout is in full effect. You can shoot them, stab them, burn them.
Shoot them, stab them, burn them.
There's dialogue options, quests, looting, you know, all the good RPG stuff. While the combat has a Doom-like feel. Look, you gotta support creative stuff like this. This project looks really good, and I don't want to see it run out of steam, so there's a link in the description to go donate if you can. This looks hella good to me. What do you think? Sticking with Gamescom, I got two things I want to show you. First up, Silent Hill F, the first new mainline entry in Silent Hill since 1987. 1987! The first new mainline entry in Silent Hill since 2012. That brings a new story set in Japan. The second thing is Chronos: The New Dawn, a third-person survival horror game created from a brand new IP. Now if you're wondering why I lumped these together, I get it. These are both distinct-looking games that deserve their own spot and should be recognized individually as awesome-looking games. Yeah. The reason why I did that is because the same studio is behind both of them. Yeah, you heard right. Silent Hill F and Chronos: The New Dawn are developed by Bloober Team, the very same devs who released the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I played and thought was amazing. That conventional psychological horror that we know and love seems to be here while still bringing something fresh to the table. On the other hand, Chronos is a brand new IP that looks interesting while seemingly inspired by some of the best games in survival horror, i.e. Dead Space, Silent Hill, and even some Resident Evil in there. Haven't even told y'all the wild part yet. Both games released in September, the same month, bro. Chronos: The New Dawn comes out September 5th and Silent Hill F comes out September 25th. Absolutely insane. These games and Silksong in 1 month, that's good food, brother. Moving on, this is a special one. An indie game with aspirations that one can only dream of in AAA releases these days. The game I'm talking about and that you're seeing is Beta Decay, developed by Rotoscope Studios, which I think is just one guy. When I say this is a dream game, I meant it. This game is an RPG where you can build spaceships, join factions, pilot mechs, build and fly spaceships. There's character customization, weapon modding, cool fluid animations, first and third person combat, and a lot more. This is an insane amount of mechanics and features for any game, let alone an indie game, but this looks so creative and unique, I don't care if it might be a pipe dream. The PS1 style textures with the dark, gritty, futuristic environment is just eye candy to me. The breakcore German-based soundtrack complements the world and combat so well. It reminds me of a lot of games. Stalker with the looting and survival mechanics, Metal Gear Solid with the mechs. The character designs give me Deus Ex vibes. This game looks like a dream, but let's not allow it to be just that. I'll link below the website where you can go to support if you think it's cool. I heard it's early days, but an early access release is planned according to the website. There's more gameplay floating around YouTube that showcases way more of the game than I'm showing you now, so be sure to check that out. It's easy to find. You can wishlist Beta Decay on Steam. I can't wait for this game. This next segment is going to be a quick one. Capcom had a huge presence at Gamescom this year. 3 big titles all planned for 2026. Let's start with Pragmata. The game was at the event, along with some gameplay revealed separately, and it looks cool as hell. Third-person, sci-fi, action-adventure game that has a bit of a Death Stranding thing going on. Fight robots while your little friend there, Diana, hacks them to reveal their weak points as you adventure through, platforming and solving puzzles along the way. No release date yet, but it is planned for 2026. Looking forward to this one. Resident Evil Requiem, or Resident Evil 9, got a new trailer at Gamescom, and it seems Capcom is going back to their survival horror roots with this one. It looks amazing as all games on the RE engine tend to look. You play as Grace Ashcroft, who has to figure out what happened to her mother, who was supposedly featured in one of the older RE games. You can play in first person and third person, as the game allows you to switch at any time. Is this because Leon will show up at some point? I hope so. Resident Evil Requiem releases on February 27, 2026 on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and Steam. Last one for Capcom was Onimusha Way of the Sword, the first new mainline game in the franchise in 20 years. New gameplay and a trailer were dropped last week. Now look, I've heard of Onimusha over the years, but never got around to it, but I think that's gonna change. Capcom has brought Onimusha back from the dead, breathing new life into what was considered a dead franchise. The game is visually stunning, the combat is well animated, and in keeping with the older games. People thought this to be a Capcom Souls-like, if you will, but from what I've seen and heard, that ain't the case. This is Onimusha through and through. You play as Miyamoto Musashi, exploring a messed up version of Kyoto and fighting demons that hate your guts. I can't wait to get my hands on this. There's no release date, but it is planned for 2026. So we're almost finished. I got 2 things left to show you. The last few, but certainly not the least. Vampires are dope, right? We all love them. Sinners showed how cool and lucrative the genre is right now. But what about games? VTMB, or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, is over 20 years old, and I think it's still the king in this genre. Vampire clans, werewolves, demons, the game made being a vampire feel like part of the world. Set in a moody downtown LA, it dripped with atmosphere, and also had some of the best writing in an RPG as well. No vampire game has been as immersive as VTMB was, but this next game might be what we're looking for. This is Blood of the Dawnwalker, an open-world dark fantasy RPG set in the 14th century. A medieval vampire game already sounds cool, but thank God it looks cool too. Now, people played it at Gamescom. They also released some pre-beta footage, which is what you're seeing now. This game is from Rebel Wolves, a team of ex-Witcher 3 devs who started their own thing, and you can tell to a degree. If you ever played any of the Witcher games, the vibes are similar. Third-person, narrative-focused RPG, but this has vampires. You play as Cohen, a quote, human by day and vampire by night, unquote, trying to save your family from a world gone mad. You can teleport, dash through the air, walk up walls, fight enemies with cool finishers, feed on people for blood, all the vampire shit you could want. There's a day/night time system that supposedly has a real effect on gameplay and story. You got about 30 days and 30 nights to save your family, and you'll have to make hard choices to save them or they won't make it. I also like the parry, dodge, attack combat. Looks more fleshed out and less repetitive than Witcher 3's combat was. If its story can hold up like Witcher 3's has, then this might be a special one. All in all, the game is looking good so far. Engaging combat, a stunning landscape, an interesting and cool story premise, and you get to be a vampire. Enough said. This might actually fill that VTMB shaped hole in my heart. No release date now, but the devs are aiming for 2026. Okay, we're at the end. This is the last one. But before we get started, I gotta make a confession. I've never played Hollow Knight.
What?
I know. I've heard the tales and stories of how good this game is, and I like Metroidvania, so I'm catching up right now before the sequel releases. The sequel of all sequels. Hollow Knight Silksong, one of the most anticipated indie games of all time. Team Cherry, the devs, dropped this trailer a week ago along with a surprise at the end. A September 4th release date. The internet went crazy as one of the most hyped games ever was announced to be only 2 weeks away. Now look, I could go on all day about the awesome art design and sick combat, but it's Silksong. The first game is considered to be a masterpiece, so I have little doubt they'll mess this one up. The bits and pieces we've seen over the years, in addition to this right here, at least for me, inspires faith. It's out September 4th on pretty much all consoles and PC. Alright guys, that's it for me. I'm done. I showed you what I got to show you. So, if you like what you saw, drop a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you really want to see more, make sure you hit that notification bell on the side, alright? Later.